everyone. Welcome back to Chasing Rank. As if you're watching, you can see Dom absolutely bolt his way back on camera, not realizing what the time was. So I thought, stuff it, I'm starting without you. But we're back. We're here, ready to go. Hopefully, if you are in the chat, you can give us a little laugh emoji for a nice start on a Tuesday night. But fellas, how are we going?
Look, I'm better after watching that. It was good. I'm well, mate. I'm well. Fantasy-wise, look, not great, but in terms of life, very well. And Dom, how are you doing, mate? How's things?
I'm good. Fantasy, slightly better past few weeks, which is good.
You might catch me at this rate.
Oh, I don't know about that, but it's
You're
good to have a nice few weeks. Now, a few captains lately, but yeah, I think a little too late for myself.
All right, let's jump straight into it. Fallers and ballers. I'm assuming people will make their way in. It is a bit of a quieter week this week. So if you have joined us for the first time, we would 100% appreciate you guys liking the stream, getting your comments in, but also subscribing. We are 25 subscribers away from 300, which would be absolutely fantastic if we could get there. But let's go fallers and ballers. For those that don't know, that is our review of the game week and our lowest scoring manager of the week. Damo, talk us through 34 points this week.
Okay, Fallers. Myself again, with the Hugo Ekitike experiment. I brought him in a couple of weeks ago to captain him against Wolves. Didn't go to plan. He then played well in the FA Cup game, which was very annoying, and we did too. We won 5-2. Then we had Spurs, which was a great fixture, and me and Paul were talking about that game. We absolutely dominated and somehow found a way to draw 1-1. Probably should have scored 5. But again, captain Hugo. And then this week, I knew everyone was going to captain Bruno, and I was like, look, Brighton usually plays an open style of game, and this is going to be a very attackive and aggressive game. And he played very well in the Champions League, and it's a pretty big game for Slot. With this run home, we kind of need to win every game if we're going to make Champions League unless we win the Champions League. So I was like, okay, Hugo surely pops, right? Can't go 3 weeks in a row. I'll bring the guy in and go bang, bang, bang. So just kind of played law of averages and captained him, and instead of Bruno, which would have been everyone else's plan. And probably the difference between me having a massive red of about nearly 300k and me having a very small red. The other one is obviously the Newcastle defender. Hurts when they don't start. So Malik, cheers, buddy. Whole reason I kept you around was for this fixture. So to cop that was pretty brutal. Kind of sums up my year. It's shaping up to be my worst ever year of fantasy. I've been playing fantasy probably for 5 years. I've made money in every single season in that period of the last 4. There is actually one league I'm still currently winning in a head-to-head to give me some break-evenage about this season. But yeah, it looks like it's the worst year of fantasy I've ever had. Hill obviously is another one as well, right? But it is what it is. I could speak about having Sanchez, which I actually think I'm now just going to keep for the season with the double that they have coming up. Ballers. Bruno.
I think you got one.
Bruno didn't captain him. Anderson got 5. He's fantastic at what he does. Gravenberch, I guess, got 3 points, which is good for me. Thiago, maybe. I expect a lot more from Thiago, to be honest. Got defensive contributions, which is quite weird. There's not much else to say that usually, and you could attest to this, Paul, because usually from game week 24 to 38 is where I excel in fantasy. Yeah. I'm a meticulous planner that kind of, goes into the tooth and nail and does a lot of research to really, get the right transfers and get the right chip use, etc. And it's usually my best time of season. There's been a lot of times where I've flown up the ranks to get inside the top 75, 50K. This is by far the biggest train wreck I've had. And probably some takeaways is being a little bit more safer with the defensive contributions for next season and probably really trying to eke out that wild card as well. Probably cost me. My current team, as much as it had issues, probably would have done something similar to what my wild card team was back in 24, especially with the lack of Chelsea assets. It probably would have done better. I guess the biggest faller is me, and I've now got 6 weeks or so to make up for it. And God forbid I nail a triple captain and we can get back inside the top 200k, which would be somewhat respectable. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be one of my lowest finishes in the last 5 seasons of playing this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. So we'll get on to Doms. I'm intrigued to see what people's chip strategies are and who has a triple captain bench boost free hit wild card. Like, I still think there's a lot of movement in the next month or so. I think there's a lot of chips up for grabs too. So will be interesting to see. Dom, talk us through 56. Another good week for you, moving up. Hopefully getting inside top 2 mil soon.
I feel like I should be in there. I've had like a few good weeks, like solid weeks, but maybe everyone else around me is as well. Yeah, Fowlers, Tior dropped. Didn't expect it at all. Moved to a back four. I thought he's been one of their better.
It was Burn
defenders.
going to centre back.
Didn't
expect it. Obviously, didn't work because I watched that game and Sunderland deserved that. Newcastle did look shaky at the back, and just a bit surprised by that. And even more annoying that he comes on and ships too when he comes on. So that's how it goes. Rayan has just been disappointing since I brought him in. I talked him up, talked a big game, and he just didn't deliver. But that's okay. Senesi not hitting DC, but you can let it ride when he's been so good for this season. I don't know how he didn't hit it, because what was the score in that game?
2-0.
Yes, and I think United went
He had
down
5.
to which is for him is extremely low.
The red card came late in the game though as well.
Yeah, very odd. Anyway, bowlers, obviously the main one, Bruno, captain, wasn't going to do it, but I think Paul told me he was doing it, so I thought, what, Paul's doing well. Let's follow him. Concert clean sheet in a convincing 2-0 win. So brought him in this week. So it's always good when you bring in a player and they deliver. And then Rogers.
You brought Bruno in this
brought
week too.
Yep. So, making good moves finally. And then, probably going to go. It's hard. It's easy to pick here. So go Rogers, gets an assist. Didn't see it, but he's just ticks along.
Yeah, he's been frustrating.
Yeah, but
nice.
No massive hauls from him, but
All right, let's fire away. 59 for me this week. No transfers, which was nice. So the team that I've been rolling with has got the job done. Obviously, we didn't talk about this last week as there was no podcast, so we haven't spoken about our sides for a little bit. This was a week where I was a little bit. My wild card did kind of set me up to be okay. I haven't really had to make too many transfers other than fixing up Rogers from my wild card. That one burnt. And I've got a few plans I want to talk through tonight. Obviously, it's very, very early to talk transfers, but interesting enough, I'm going to go. I mean, Bruno, I was kicking myself last week, so I didn't get the chance to get this off my chest last week, but I was tossing and turning between Bruno and Haaland last week, and that cost me big time last week. So as I said, stuff it. I'm backing Bruno in. He's the guy that is in the most form. I don't know what's going on with Dom's thing here. It's going fully spaz.
Anyhow.
I might just kick him and he can come back in after. No. Okay, I can kick him for now and he can rejoin after.
Yep.
Bruno, I just had to go there. I was just like, Bournemouth fixture, screams goals. I know I've got Hill and it's frustrating that he ends up scoring the own goal, but I was hoping a world where Hill concedes 1 or 2, Bruno gets those returns, Hill gets DC, and it's a win-win. End of the day, Bruno gets the double returns, and a lot of people got that. Next up is Kelleher and Rodon. I'm going to pair them together. Again, very, very lucky. Last week got the Kelleher and Hill combination of a 0-0, and this week I got the Kelleher-Rodon combination of the 0-0, and Kelleher getting 2 bonus and 4 saves to go with the clean sheet is very, very nice there. So happy enough with a Kameen Kelleher. And recently, the point, like for a 4.8, 4.7 million keeper that I brought in around game week 20, I can't remember when I wildcarded, 25 maybe. I don't think I got that 10-pointer. Regardless, I reckon I brought him in around here. And I was like, have I made the right call? But then the last couple of weeks, they are looking better. And the goals here, they were 2-0 up against Wolves and completely switched off. So would have been nice for 3 clean sheets in a row from Brentford, but they're genuinely playing for a European spot at the moment too. So I'm quite happy owning him, not having to think about my goalkeeper situation. And my fallers, I think it's time to really put the spotlight on Brian Mbeumo. I was seriously considering rolling a transfer. Well, I did roll a transfer, using a transfer on a Brian Mbeumo this week. But, me and you, Damo, were talking on Saturday, and his fixtures do line up well with getting on the Man City assets. So I just hate this from Mbeumo. Like, if he was a 90-minute man, I think we'd be seeing a lot more points and going Semenyo. Like, when I made this wild card, it was amongst this stretch of games here where Mbeumo was playing 90 minutes and he was playing up front and then going off to the right wing. So I feel like the decision to go Mbeumo was still justified at the time, but I did think Semenyo would start getting rotated now that City don't have Champions League football and they're pretty much playing max 2 games a week with FA Cup and the league now. I think it's time to really reverse that move once again, which I've spent so many transfers this year on Man United guys. I had Bruno, then I went to Mbeumo, then I went back to Bruno, then I've wildcarded Mbeumo back in, now I'm Mbeumo out. That's probably been the one issue I've had this year. Like, yes, I've had João Pedro now twice, and I'm at the point where I'm just going to ride these Chelsea guys. Like, at some point in this stretch of games, they're going to have to figure it out because Champions League football is a must. Whether Liam Rosinha stays as the manager, I don't know. But my fallers this week are Mbeumo, Palmer, and that's where I'm going to leave it because Virgil's frustrated me. Again, had him, got rid of him, goes on that stretch of games. I go, all right, we look like we've turned a corner, get back on Virgil, and then shit the bed again. So really frustrating own of Virgil, and it might genuinely be that Mbeumo and Virgil turn into 2 Man City assets for the doubles, is what my early thoughts are. So that's my side. Again, I'm at 130K pretty well. So, I have been a lot higher than that this year, but I've got a platform of I'm able to attack. I've still got 2 chips to play. I've still got my triple captain and my free hit. So triple captain, I can be a bit flexible on what fixture I want that to come in. And the free hit, I think I'm just going to attack a really good double game week and make sure I've got a team full of doublers. And if it means I don't get a double triple captain, it's not the end of the world. I'll just find a good fixture for Bruno Fernandes, I think, at this rate. And, maybe Forest at home in 37. Forest might be dead and buried or fighting, and Man United might just be fighting for Champions League football. So at least there's something riding on that one. So worst case scenario, I'll hold on to the triple captain to 37 and see what happens. So that's my side there. So if you are here in the chat and you haven't yet said hello, make sure you do. If you're also here in the chat and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe as well, because we would love to get that number up towards 300 subscribers before the end of the season. Now, fellas, Bournemouth Man United, Saturday morning. What a game this was to wake up to. It had everything. Really good game. Lots of goals end to end. Damo, talk us through just bare bones, because I think most people sort of know the ins and outs of this one, but any other big fantasy takeaways for us here?
Not really. I still think there's value in a United defender if they're getting DC, and I think the biggest one of that was Maguire. Now he's suspended, so I don't know if I would go there still. The only other thing I would say from this game is if you do have a Bournemouth defender, I wouldn't panic too much. I think this is a very this is an anomaly sort of result where none of them get DC at the back there. They're usually a very heavily, scoring DC side, and would still play him, and probably to the point where if you've got a Malik, from Newcastle, and you've got a Senesi, for instance, you have to decide between the two, one against Palace, one against Arsenal. I would almost back in the Bournemouth defender to get DC against Arsenal this week. So, that's my main takeaway was, outside of obviously the main and, Mbeumo being in Mbeumo. And
I just want to show you a couple images before we move on.
Yep.
I'm just downloading them. Firstly, the Man United plot. So you look at where Maguire, Shaw, and Yoro are sitting. Like, they are quite deep, and then United looking to really progress the ball. You can see all those passes are either coming through Matthias Cunha or it's coming through Kobe Mainu. Where if I then bring up Bournemouth, you'll notice, might explain why the DC was the way it was. There's a significant difference on where those defensive lines are. So that's kind of showing that Bournemouth were likely the side that was probably in the ascendancy in this one. At home, United probably thought, okay, we can sit in a little bit tighter and try and play the game a little bit differently. So let's get back on to Brighton and Liverpool, because I think from a United aspect, it's sort of Bruno or bust for me at the moment. I don't trust the attackers enough to play enough minutes to really contribute when there's better midfielders playing 90 minutes across the board. Like, if you could now offer me Harry Wilson or Brian Mbeumo, I'm biting your arm off at Harry Wilson, although he's playing for Fulham because he's on the pitch all the time. So a bit frustrating, but it is what it is. Damo, thoughts on Liverpool? I went to bed at half-time, and even at 1-1, I was like, I do not feel good about this.
No, he just looked horrid. I don't know what it is. Or I know what it is, but it's a fantasy Premier League podcast, not a football podcast. The man at the helm's not cut out for it. That's what it is. But
there's a lot of change to this squad.
Pardon?
You lose a lot of players in this squad. You lose both your fullbacks. You lose both your wingers practically. Like Salah's been in and out. No Diaz, no Jota, no
I think people
Isak,
underestimated
no Nunes.
There's so much change. Diaz.
Yeah, look, I just think, a different manager that actually knows how to manage and can look past the fact that if a player's not Dutch, you can play him and start him, and age is not a number, or not a limitation. We would be okay. But this is a podcast that is designed around fantasy. And again, if you have a Liverpool asset, I would be cutting ties with that asset fairly quickly, unless I'm still going to say that Wirtz is probably worth it when he is up and running and firing. And this is, there's still 6 games weeks, and he would be the only one I would punt on from a Liverpool perspective. I still reckon he looks our best player. I still thought he looked okay in this game. It's his first game, back in the Prem, where I think he's looked at his best per this injury. Pre-injury, we were all clamoring to get him in as well before he did this back injury the week before Wolves in the warm-up. But yeah, look, Szoboszlai is maybe an option too. I wouldn't go near our defense. Brighton, look, I still feel that they're a very hit and miss team, and you don't know what you're going to get, and I wouldn't touch them from a fantasy perspective. How many times have we seen Danny Welbeck pop up and then just go on a run of goals? So maybe this is the time and the sign that you need to go get Welbeck for the last 6 game weeks to take a punt there. But I don't know if I would look into that. I think both sides, from a fantasy perspective, are sides you don't want to touch. And considering I have 2 Liverpool assets, probably hurts me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm on Virgil, and that'll very quickly become a Man City defender. Fulham Burnley will fly through a few of these games. Harry Wilson just once again killing my rank. Just 86% effective ownership. That's just obviously showed a lot of people did captain him this week. So for those that didn't captain Bruno, they weren't killed if they captained the Harry Wilson. Like, it obviously killed you a little bit, but not significantly. But for those of us that don't own Wilson and haven't owned Wilson, he's just someone that's been a bit of a prick in the thigh this season. And Dom, you would have been happy your boy Raul with another goal, although he's not in the team anymore.
Yep, that felt good.
Yeah. I think there's much to report on. I think Wilson is a shout. I was going to bring up Fulham's run. I know it's not on screen. It is brutal, though, like for the next couple of weeks. It's Liverpool away, Brentford away, Villa at home, Arsenal away. But then you get Bournemouth home, Wolves away, Newcastle home. He is someone who you can kind of start in any fixture anyway. He plays. His minutes are good. He's gone 86, 90. Didn't play against West Ham with that injury. 71 came off against Tottenham after looking really good and picking up that knock. And then sort of 90, 70, 90, 90, 90. Like, would you rather those fixtures but him play in a good Fulham team than Brian Mbeumo at 2.5 million cheaper?
Yeah.
I think it's easy. I think it's an easy yes. So
yeah, I think
if you got the transfers to make it happen, maybe. I mean, look, he probably scores this week against Liverpool. To be fair, the way we're playing and the way we're defending, I probably don't look at Liverpool as a red fixture anymore. So I think he's one definitely to consider. Maybe not this week, but in the next couple, because like Fulham aren't going to have double game weeks too. So I think it's hard to buy into someone without doubles personally, but someone to keep on the watch list. Dom, join us with Payne here and talk us through what happened here against Everton.
We are absolutely garbage. We sacked Maresca for this PE teacher.
Welcome to the club, mate.
Just nah, don't. We're in a million times worse position. Like a million times worse position. Like it's just terrible. Like I have no part of me wants to watch them. Like I don't get excited when they come around to play. Like embarrassed in the Champions League over 2 legs, embarrassed at home to Everton, the team we always beat generally. Sorry, away to Everton. There's just nothing tells me we're gonna push for a Champions League spot. We're only in it because Liverpool have dropped points, but I think Liverpool are a miles better team with a better manager. It's just a Chelsea that's been the same story for 3-4 years. Bit of a basket case, and look, honestly, right off the season, we're just making up the numbers in the FA Cup.
I still think João Pedro is an interesting own, though.
Yeah, in an FPL perspective, they're going to score goals, and it's going to be Pedro or it's going to be Palmer. I think Palmer knows he's guaranteed a spot on the plane for the World Cup, whereas João Pedro probably has to push for that a bit more.
Yeah, that's probably a fair point.
Owning Pedro. But yeah, look, don't touch the defense. Get Pedro in, and that's about it.
The fixtures post City this week aren't the worst.
They're going to get battered.
This week is this week. I'm definitely writing that one off, right? As someone who owns Palmer and Pedro. But then you get Man United home, Brighton away, Forest home, Liverpool away, Tottenham home, Sunderland away. Sunderland obviously going to be safe on the last day of the season as well.
Dead rubber, yep.
Dead rubber, right? But that stretch of United, Brighton, Forest, Liverpool, Tottenham is actually got goals written all over it.
Oh, yeah.
So, as much as I've got money tied up in this Chelsea attack, I don't actually hate the fact that I've got Palmer and Pedro. If that's the thing that kills me this year, then I'll live and die on that sword. And I'll go, all right, Paul, you probably should have known better than to, bet on this Chelsea team. But my gut is telling me, ride it. I've got other issues that I think are more pressing. Because at the end of the day, Chelsea going to have to score goals at some point. There's no way they're going to drop off. I think they're going to be fine. Damo.
Also, Fantasy Football Hub predicted that they get a double next week.
I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, 85%, and then they have a blank the week after against Brighton, and the Brighton fixture moves into next week.
So is that so are they expecting Chelsea to get through in the FA Cup? Is that what it is?
Chelsea playing Port Vale.
Yeah.
All right. So that means the United game gets pushed back? No, Brighton.
The Brighton game gets pushed forward by a week, and then the next week they then have no fixture. This is why I think holding off on transfers this week as a blanket is important, because then we can get the understanding of what we are going to get exactly with doubles. Because
so we'll know going into the next game week, won't we?
Yeah, that's correct, because they would have to tell us that game week 33 those doubles are happening. It's the same with with the Man City Arsenal, like that's the game week 33 fixture. So are you then breaking your side to use free transfers to get free City assets for Arsenal, and then the other double fixture, which I think would be Burnley? So you probably would, because you get the Burnley fixture. But they're predicted for a double Chelsea. And like, I have Sanchez. I absolutely hate it. I've been looking for an excuse to get rid of him, but my team's in this desperation. But now you're telling me that he's going to double, right? And it's Brighton United, which isn't great, but you're telling me that if he does,
actually a pretty good double.
He doesn't make saves as a keeper and gets 6 points. So I think if you've got a Chelsea asset, right, the point I want to make, right, I'd rather have Pedro and Palmer than what I had, which was Enzo, Chalobah and Sanchez, and I still have Sanchez, right, which kind of tells you where you need to know about my fantasy season and why I'm a mad person who has lost his science cape. But I think we need to all hold off, because if they do get the double in 33 and it's Brighton United, I almost want you to have free assets to get as many doubles as you can. But anyway.
And I think, we're another 2 weeks away from action. There's Champions League, there's FA Cup, there's a lot of football to be played between now and the next Premier League match as well. So I just think, good point to bring that up, Damo, because we haven't really spoken about chip strategy. I think next week's probably the time to start having those conversations.
FA Cup this weekend, right?
No, it's the one after.
No, international break.
Yeah, international break, then FA Cup, then Champions League. No, it's Champions League, then FA Cup, and then midweek. Is it midweek Prem or week?
Sunday the 5th of April, so it's over Easter, which is next
always,
week.
After international
So
break.
FA Cup's next weekend then.
We could also have a world where Liverpool knock off City in the FA Cup quarterfinals and then City get no doubles.
No, but City have a game in hand still, regardless.
Yeah, from the Crystal Palace game, but they're meant to get double for the FA Cup and then double for Palace, right?
Palace as well.
But if it's only one double, then is there a point?
Not as valuable.
Yeah, correct. Like if they get 2 doubles in the last 6 game weeks, you just get as many as you can, and like you're going to triple captain in 1 week. If you bench boost probably in the week that they have one, if you still have that shit, free hit. In saying that, if all these doubles go through, like Chelsea get through, Leeds or West Ham get through, Arsenal get through against Southampton, right? And then you got Liverpool City. That means there's going to be a fairly large blank in game week 30. Well, look, Ben Crellin reckons it's 33, which is the next game week, or it's 34, right? So then one of these game weeks is going to have like 6 to 8 teams without a fixture, which is going to cause havoc. So I really think the free hit chip's going to be used then, and anyone that's used a free hit chip previously is going to find themselves got to find themselves in a very difficult spot to get 11 playing players that week. As much as I love to use a free hit in a double game week, I think it's the best time to use a free hit. A lot of our season always ends up being this time of year the free hits played in the biggest blank game week because you need to find 11 playing players.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a major blank game week though, which is nice. So
yeah, not like we did a couple seasons ago where it was like basically only 4 teams that played.
Yeah, and it threw away your free hit because everyone had to free hit. So
yeah.
Anyway, it is what it is. Welcome, Dan, as well. We have seen you there in the chat, but we can get a chance to get to it. Let's run through these last few games because there's not a whole lot of fantasy relevant stuff. Leeds Brentford. Frustrating that it's back-to-back 0-0s. Is it 2 0-0s out of the last 3 games for Brentford?
Yep.
With a 2-2 in there as well. Really frustrating that Dango got benched in this one. It didn't end up costing me anything because Diouf would have come on for a 1-pointer anyway. Yep. But they did change shape here. They went back to 2 up front, 5 at the back, which I thought was interesting. Like maybe it was just a rotation thing for Keith Andrews because Brentford have played a lot of football lately as well. But then Dango did come on for about 20 minutes and when he got 4 DC, like I still think he's a good option, but I'm hesitant now. Like that was really the last really, really good game week that I want to attack before West Ham in 35. So if I'm kind of on the edge between him and Elliot Anderson, I think I'm just going to play Elliot Anderson now just for the floor. And if Dango kills me with a ceiling score, then so be it. Unlucky Jackie there. I just saw Dango as the captain against Leeds. I don't think Leeds are a side you want to target at Ellen Road, personally. I think Leeds away is a different story.
But Leeds at home, Old Trafford,
Yeah, so United at Old Trafford, I think Bruno is a perfect captaincy shout this week for that reason as well. But yeah, I think Brentford assets, same thing. Brentford assets at home are going to be a lot better than Brentford assets away. I think we need to play into that a little bit as well. We should know enough now about teams and where they're stronger home or away. Obviously, the anomaly this week was Everton. Typically, they've been pretty average at home, but the last few games at Hill Dickinson, they've started to turn the corner at home a little bit too, and they're really pushing for European football, which people aren't talking about Everton at the moment, and we kind of brushed over them. Don't know if I'd bring anyone in because their fixtures are hard, but just if you're set on a Dewsbury Hall and Iliman and Jai in particular, I couldn't tell people away from that. I think if you need that enabler type midfielder, I think there's value, and you're probably pretty validated in getting those 2 guys as well, both with 10 DC. Interesting enough to see Keane, Tarkovsky start again with Branthwaite off the bench too. Yeah. Just interesting points. Dom, you said you watched this one, Newcastle Sunderland. Talk us through it.
Sunderland gifted them a goal.
That was hilarious.
And yeah, Luke O'Nien. If anyone's watched Sunderland on Netflix, he plays a part. He's been around the club forever. Been to them from League One. Just gives him a goal, but that kicked Sunderland into gear. They're just a really solid team. They know where they're at. They know there might be a lower half team this season, but they just got solid players around the park. And who's their striker? Brobby. Looks good.
Yep.
Looks
Yeah,
really
I've been
good.
talking about him for a
He's
while.
had a good
I really like him.
season. Yeah, a very deceptive season. It comes in waves.
penciled him in-
You get from a young player.
Penciled him in for next season as a potential budget striker because I don't know if he's on loan or if he's a permanent move.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not
Permanent by
sure.
memory.
I think he's permanent from Ajax.
But yeah, Newcastle just looked incredibly average. Wouldn't
Which they have
touch
for a long
any of-
time.
Any of their players at the 10-foot pole.
A lot of people brought in Gordon this week.
Yeah, he plays as a 9. Walter Marte drops in deep, but
Yeah.
yeah, and he's on penalties as well.
He's
one I could. Gordon's one I could get behind with the right fixtures.
Sorry,
because he's on penalties.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Yeah, he's one I wouldn't have an issue people going with it with Anthony Gordon. Now they're out of Champions League too, so just
Proven
consider
in the league.
By the way, Robbie was bought for 20 mil by Sunderland.
Thank you. There we go.
Yeah. Nice.
And then the last 2 games, I mean, Villa just finally turn up and do what they need to do here. Interesting to see if this is what's going to stick for Aston Villa. West Ham, again, they're right in the hunt. They were due a result that was probably meant to go the way it was meant to go. They've probably overperformed the last 2 months. So I wouldn't read too much into that. I didn't realize Diouf had 5 DEFCON in this one as well. I'm really happy owning him. There's a few pop weeks where I think he could contribute massively to my team. And one of those weeks is this week as well with Wolves at home. That's a big game for West Ham. So he will definitely be in my starting 11 post the international break. But I don't think there's much that's changed of our opinion of either of these teams. I'm not looking at anyone from Aston Villa, and I'm probably not looking really at anyone at West Ham unless you've got a 4 million Diouf sitting on your bench. Forest and Spurs. Spurs are just...
We've been saying for a while they're going down.
And they go down.
They're down.
West Ham are getting
concrete.
more points. No, West Ham are getting more points over this run than Tottenham. They got Wolves, Palace, Everton, Brentford.
Like, no fight.
Arsenal, Newcastle, Leeds.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now.
That's West Ham. I'm going to show you. That's West Ham's fixture. If West Ham can win 2 of those next 3, which I think is doable, Spurs are down.
Yeah.
Well, and Leeds last game of the season.
That's a huge game.
Leeds would be safe, nothing to play for.
So then if we go and look at Tottenham's fixtures, how long is it going to take me to find someone from Spurs? I'm better off doing this, aren't I?
Just doing that because they're all crap.
Sunderland, Brighton, that game there is huge.
Yep.
Sunderland massive.
Either save them or kill them because Wolves are playing better. Then you go Villa, Leeds, and Chelsea, Everton. That's a harder set than the West Ham set.
More teams.
It's pretty similar though.
Yeah.
It's similar fixtures.
Chelsea could be playing for Champions League.
Same with Villa.
Everton.
I think they both play. Obviously, West Ham just played Villa.
Leeds won't be mathematically safe in 36 either yet. They will be after that fixture. Though.
38.
Yeah. I think they go down to the last season. I think they're a target fixture, personally.
I think the fixtures are the same. It's just West Ham's line up better, like where they play.
West Ham's in much better form.
And
West Ham are playing fine.
And they're not going to have another manager come through the door. It sounds like Spurs are going to get someone else.
One of the biggest
that I've heard. But
Premier League moments in recent years. Spurs going down.
Look, I will say this result frustrates me. And can I just say why? Captain Hugo Ekitike can't do nothing, and then Forest go away to Spurs and slap him 3-0. Like, peak fantasy Premier League, are you having a laugh sort of moment? Like, really?
Yeah, but
it's
a different game, Damo, though. Like that Spurs Forest game, the context of it's so different. Spurs open up because it's a game for them that there's points on offer where they got the perfect snatch and grab against us at Anfield. So you can't read into it that way. But
I just think it's very, very, very annoying, and I really hope they go down.
I do like Gibbs White. He's really starting to take on this sort of alpha male type. I'm the guy here attacking wise. Not that I'd go and bring him in, but just one to keep an eye on, especially if they stay up. He is, we know he's a good footballer, but Elliot Anderson, plots along and does his thing. Interesting enough, his bonus points was really low this week. And with 16 DC, like typically you see these guys with DC. I know they probably because they kept a clean sheet. That's probably why.
Yeah,
If they'd won this.
Yeah, correct.
If they won this 3-1, I reckon he's a lot higher on the bonus points.
Bonus point goes way up. It's also how creative he is in the game too. I don't think he overly was. Like there's games where he gets DC and he's really creative, doesn't get an assist or anything, but his bonus points is really good because everything went through him, right? This wasn't that type of performance from him, but a really good standard performance. And I really hope Forrest stick around so I can use Elliot Anderson for a full season next year, even though I think he's worth 7 mil.
He'll probably not be at Forest regardless.
Yeah, better club will pick him up.
I want to use this time, instead of looking at projections, because we are a few weeks away from fixtures. Let me save this image. We're going to give credit here to Ben Crellin, Damo, because you've probably stared at this the longest.
Look, most seasons, yes. I've only stared at this once this season because I know I'm cooked. Usually what I do, and the boys can attest to this, is every season they get about 15 screenshots about what my plans are going to be over this period because I get my little notebook out. Now it's a big notebook, and I go through everything. This season's been my worst season to date, but I've still looked at this a couple of times. It looks.
So we are now currently at 32 for.
Yep, correct.
Everyone's sake.
Yeah, so 32, nothing. 33 looks likely to be a double game week, which is the most likely period than the 34 or 35 potential doubles, right? And it looks like it's going to be a lot of teams that double in there. Now, in saying that, this depends on the results, right? This depends on if the City-Liverpool result. If City win, we get the City doubles, right? Which would be Arsenal, Burnley / Palace, whichever one they put in. And then you get the later one in 36 for them, which looks most likely to be the Crystal Palace's double.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, right. Because if they get through in the FA Cup, they then have another game, and it'll be the Burnley game.
If they win, if they win against Liverpool, they play Arsenal, Burnley,
Yep.
And then that Crystal Palace.
More than likely. It could be Arsenal Palace, but it sounds more likely it's going to be Arsenal Burnley. Makes the most sense logistically. And then it'll be Brentford Palace. There's also a well where it could be Brentford Burnley if they go the other way, right? But that depends solely on if they beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. Now, I'm actually going to go out here and tell you that I actually think Liverpool beat them in the FA Cup, right? Because, look, I'm a Liverpool fan. That's what I want to believe, even though we have the wrong manager in charge for this. We will then get Everton Palace, which would immediately go, don't spend your transfers because you probably want free Liverpool assets for Everton Palace, right? What this means is, regardless of the rest of the FA Cup fixtures, Chelsea getting Port Vale, you name it, look how many of those teams would blank in 34.
So the red.
Yep. Is
the red 34. Blanks.
Socks.
What's the purple?
Purple is
the low chance.
Low chance. So as you can see, key at the top. That's 5 to 20%. The red is the most likely.
Yeah, 20
right?
40. And so 34 could be a big blank. But the only real big teams, though, are Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea,
United.
City. Obviously, Liverpool and City both can't blank.
Yep.
Because one of them has to blank and one of them goes through. Arsenal plays Southampton. You expect Arsenal to win that one. Yep. Chelsea play Port Vale. You expect Chelsea to win that one.
Yep.
And then it's West Ham, Leeds. Are we at the quarter or the semi-final?
Quarters.
One month. Oh yeah, that's quarters. That's four sets of ties. So really, we're looking at City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Leeds, or West Ham.
The easiest way
Newcastle,
to do this is...
Who did Newcastle have in?
So it's on the screen. It's on the screen you're sharing.
Bournemouth.
So what Ben's predicting is the teams that will blank in 34, right, are Newcastle, right, Arsenal, Chelsea, Brighton.
Oh, right? Is that because they're in white?
That's because they're in the dark red and then highlighted in white. Palace and City then obviously blank as well, and then the rest of unlikely blanks if the results go the other way, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at 4 teams blanking. Now, depending on what teams are, if you're someone that has held City assets, there's going to be free assets. You probably don't have Arsenal assets. You've already down to 6 or 7 that you don't have playing, right? Probably need a free hit. If you're someone like myself who's only got 2 Arsenal, 1 City at the moment, and City get through, right? All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, maybe I can hide them on the bench and use my free transfers to set myself up so I can then free hit in a double game week, right? So it's very whatever. We're not going to get the full picture until after the FA Cup's played over the Easter weekend. Luckily for us, we'll know by this deadline, because our deadline's not till 11th of April, exactly what's going on. So the best thing to do is wait, right? FA Cup gets played on the 5th of April, 4th of April, right? We will know by the 6th or 7th of April, which is 3 days before this deadline, exactly what the doubles are going to look and the blanks are going to look like. But basically, put your cap on. Chelsea win, Chelsea blank in 34, right? Liverpool City win, whoever it is, they're going to blank in 34. Whoever their opponents are going to blank. Arsenal are going to beat Southampton. Whoever their opponents are in 34 are going to blank. Hence why all those teams are there.
Yeah, okay. So if we look at 34.
So if you want to look at 34.
Oh, so that's why Newcastle blank.
Correct, because they play Arsenal, and that's why they're heavily in red, because they're like, look, Newcastle going to beat Southampton. So anyway, Chelsea play Brighton that game week. Hits why Brighton, and that's why you can see Newcastle and Brighton moving to 33, because traditionally they've always moved that fixture forward into the back end of 33.
They'll know that because this deadline for 32, it's happening all before the 32 deadline.
It's
so
happening
before, in between, sorry.
Yeah, it's happening before the deadline because, again, the games are played on the 4th and the 5th of April. 11th of April is the deadline for this game week we're in. We will know the answers by the end of this game week. That's why
they'll be played in the midweek between 33 and 34.
Yeah. We'll know well in advance. Well, I think we'll know before this deadline's done. Because the Premier League...
we'll know going into 33 because we're obviously waiting for the weekend. Yeah, we'll know by not next stream, but the one after what's going on.
Correct. So next stream we won't know because it's the back end of the international break. But the next stream after we will. Now, in saying that though, that next stream for us will be us planning for 33, right? But we will know before that. We'll know the Thursday of week 32. So like obviously FA Cup's played, after international break.
Then we get on Tuesday.
On the 8th of April, we'll know, right? Because they will release the fixtures. It will update on the FPL website, you name it. Brendan Crellin will do his tweet and put out, this is exactly what's going on, right? Which always happens. So do not make any early transfers. First thing. Second thing is keep an eye out on Twitter or just keep refreshing the fantasy page on the 9th, 10th of April, and you'll see exactly where the doubles and blanks are going to be, and then plan accordingly. And that might mean that you start moving assets around. That might mean that you might need a plan for a free hit in 34. Or that might mean, depending on the results, you might get a few shop results that 34 ain't that bad. And then you might start changing your transfer structure as well. That's the like if Liverpool get through, Liverpool then get a tasty double, right? As well, right? With Everton Palace. All of a sudden, you probably go, let me waste a few transfers now on Liverpool assets. And then in 36, roll in 34, 35, 36. And then in 36, you can get back to your City assets for their double with Brentford Palace, right?
Yeah.
You can start looking at those sort of short-term plans. And we'll know that by the end of this game week.
I think going into 33, you want as many free transfers as possible.
Correct. That's why I'm rolling in 32 is the plan, even though that means I keep in Buemo for one more week and Sanchez for 1 week.
That leaves me with 4 going into 33.
Me and you in the same position. 4, you just got an extra chip on me, I think. No,
we got 2 each.
We got the same 2. Yeah, and I think if you can somehow, and I'm not saying that it's going to be possible, right? But if you can somehow set your team up, right? And what you could do is 32, waste your free transfers so you know the blanks in 34 you got cover for, you could free hit in 33 and attack all the doubles, right? Knowing that you still have 37 to play the triple captain against Bruno at Forest, which is what I'm leaning towards. If I can get through 34.
Yeah, so bin off 33 by free hitting.
Correct. So that would actually mean that I would take out, like if I was on, I'm on a couple Liverpool, couple City, and depending on what the double looks like, right, and the blanks, I would then transfer those players out now, dead end sort of in 32, still have an okay team, free hit in 33 to get them all in again, and and then when they all go out and everyone else is using their free hit, my team's already set up and I can just roll.
Yeah.
And that
I guess
that's
the only downside to that is
35 and then into 36, I'd have more frees to do stuff.
Yeah, so you'd only have 2 frees going in 36 because you wouldn't get frees for 34 playing. Oh, sorry, you wouldn't get frees in 33 playing the free hit. So you'd have 3 going in 36.
Yeah, correct. And that would probably be enough to change around a couple of players, right? Or your team looks good and you only need, a couple Arsenal, what's it called?
City.
Palace and City, right? The other thing you could do is you really load up on Palace and City with a free hit in 36, have 3 each, so you got 6, right? Problem is that Everton's not like, oh my God, what a fixture. Brentford Palace is probably pretty good for City, but yeah. Which is definitely
Makes the triple captain question interesting too.
Yeah, well, that's where I think 36 looks like the best week to triple captain because you get Haaland for 2 good fixtures.
Man, they could be like hunting down the
title
Premier League at that point too. Yeah,
it depending on what Arsenal do, right? I actually think Arsenal are gonna.
Well, it depends what happens here in 33.
Yeah, correct. But yeah, it makes it interesting. But also know that you got like some outs. There's potential for a blank game week in 37 as well, just to be careful. But I don't think that's happening. As you can see, it's very unlikely. And yeah, it's unlikely there's a double in 35, but it has happened in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, that was a very interesting chat. I'm sure we'll bring that up next stream as well. If I could ask that those that are here get the like on the stream, it will help to push it out. Let us know if that was helpful for you guys. Colm is back as always on the Tuesday. Looking at using my wildcard free hit bench boost during the last 4 to 5 game weeks. I like playing the free hit in 38, but I'll use it earlier. It's up to you, I guess, where you want to use them, Colm. I'd be trying, the last 4 to 5 game weeks, that's really 33 into 38. That's the last 6 game weeks. So, just trying to attack those doubles and blanks. I think that's a good strategy. The fact that you've held on to them. Any preference, Damo, on what order you'd want to use them roughly?
I think what I would do is I'll wait and see what the doubles are. And then I would almost go in 33, play the wild card to get as many doubles in. 34 of free hit to then have 11 blanks. They're all going to obviously then blank, right? 35 and 36 would probably be my blank weeks where I don't do anything. 35 don't do anything, and 36 I would then have all your transfers you still have because you still keep them over a wild card and a free hit where you already have banked up, which you might have a couple column plus a roll. Let's say the worst case is 3. Best case is 5. I would then in 36, when Palace and City have their double, get probably 3 Palace players in and slap them all on your bench and a keeper, and then play your bench boost then.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'd play it too. I like it. All right, I do appreciate that this is during an international break, so I don't think there's much value in us talking through transfer plans and all the rest of it. I think Damo and I have kind of both alluded to potentially rolling anyway. The last thing I'll touch on, there's a bit of news, particularly coming out of Arsenal around some injuries. I think that's more Arteta trying to make sure he doesn't get more injuries on international duty for some dead rubbers. So don't stress if you're a Gabriel Saliba owner in particular, or a Timber owner, because I think that's just the dark arts of we're in the hunt for the Premier League, and I don't want my players playing dead rubbers going into the World Cup. So I don't think there's any issues there, but we will touch back on our sides next week. So if you could do us a huge favor and hit that big like button on the stream, we would all appreciate it. On your way out, if you could also hit that subscribe button, we'd appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday for a very, very big game week preview.